So next is the idea of how you can earn through helping the system to keep XSD at the peg of 1 gram of silver, and you can profit by helping the system do that. So the XSD stablecoin uses market forces and software rules to maintain the peg. So once you understand that and see that in the system, when XSD is above the peg, it's better that you sell it, and that would help drive the price down to the price of 1 gram of silver. Then you could rebuy back in, and so that difference would be profit for you, and then helping the system get the price of XSD back down to the peg. And then the reverse would happen when it's below the peg. You'd want to buy it, and then you can do what you like once it gets back to peg. The second of the fourth way that XSD uses to keep the peg is this idea of burning one token to mint the other. So this is inspired by Terra Luna, which works most of the time. As we know, that protocol failed, but we've innovated on that using just sort of that concept. Generally, from a Terra Luna perspective, if the price of XSD is above the peg, you're burning BankX for XSD at the price XSD should be. So you're effectively transforming BankX into XSD at the price of 1 gram of silver. Then you can sell that XSD for a higher price, increasing the supply, selling it, and then driving the price back down. And then the reverse would happen. So when the price is below the peg, there's too much supply. So you would be burning XSD for the price of 1 gram of silver to get that same value in BankX. But what we do, and we'll talk specifically, is we use our two pools with this concept to help stabilize the price of XSD at the price of 1 gram of silver. And then this third way to keep XSD at the peg has been proven by MakerDAO, but this idea that the minting and redeeming would help control the supply to keep the price at the peg. So if the price of XSD is above the peg, you'd want to mint it, because you can create something for less than the market is paying, right? So you would create XSD at, say, $1, and XSD is at $1.20. So you could create it for $1, sell it for $1.20. And then the reverse happens when it's below the peg, which redeeming is turning in the XSD stablecoin and getting your collateral back plus any accrued interest while you kept that in circulation. So that removes it from the supply, and you're converting XSD for the price of 1 gram of silver and getting that collateral back at that value. So these are all sort of proven techniques that all help to get the price of a stable coin to its peg. And then specifically to Frax and to BankX is this idea that we talked about of a moving collateral ratio of how much native blockchain token and BankX token is needed to mint the stablecoin. And that adjusts based on the price, as we've talked about, of the price of the XSD stablecoin. So I'm going to exaggerate this example just to make the point, right? So let's say XSD is at $1.50. The price of 1 gram of silver and the peg price of XSD should be $1. And the current minting collateral ratio is 90% Ethereum, 10% BankX. So we have a above the peg price of XSD situation. And so we need more XSD in the market, and the system will lower the amount needed of Ethereum to mint the XSD stablecoin, making it easier to mint, increasing the supply of XSD, and helping to bring the price back down to the peg. So that is all in that moving collateral ratio that we've been talking about. And as I mentioned, the minting interest rate is tied to collateral ratio, where 1/2 of the collateral ratio is the minting interest rate, or 5.28%, whichever is greater. And so the idea is that, as we talked about, as XSD is above the peg, the collateral ratio lowers. At the same time, the minting interest rate goes up. Above the peg, we need more XSD in the market. we need more supply to bring it down, and then the interest rate is going up to further incentivize that behavior. So all of these things are tied together. It's, I think, an incredible system using all things that we know work. So this idea that I talked about, where we've innovated on this technique that Terra Luna used to burn one token to mint the other, what we do is we use that same technique, but then we automate the process to arbitrage between our two liquidity pools. So the BankX liquidity pool and the XSD liquidity pool. The end result of it is that you will get more of the token you started with. And so I'm going to show you exactly how that works with some very simple math, right? So you have the BankX pool and the XSD pool, and we'll just say we're on Ethereum. So right now the silver price is $1, XSD is at 80, and BankX price, let's say, is 10 cents, and XSD is below the peg. So below the peg, we have too much supply. We want to pull supply out. So in this situation, in the user interface in the web app, you would burn XSD to mint BankX at the price of 1 gram of silver. Then, so you begin with 1 XSD. You would burn that XSD at $1, which is the silver peg price in this example, for 10 BankX. Then the system, through the UI, will sell that BankX in the BankX pool for $1 of Ethereum. Now that you have that $1 in Ethereum, that you can go and buy in the XSD pool, now you have 1.25 XSD. And so that helps to bring down the price of, or I should say, it helps to keep XSD at the peg, and then you get more of whatever token you started with. So the other way through this, you would get more BankX in the example, right? So if it's above the peg, you would burn BankX for XSD and get more BankX. When it's below the peg, you would burn XSD for BankX through our whole system, which is all sort of guided through the arbitrage screen, and then you would get more XSD in this example. So we basically, instead of just letting you burn one token to mint the other and then hope you actually do what we want you to do, this system does the entire process so that we know the burning of one token to mint the other is actually used to maintain the peg of XSD. The other thing that we do in the system when we turn it on is we don't allow overburning or over minting, taking the price of XSD, sort of whipsawing back and forth. So it would be more of a kind of a slow move back to the peg, whether it's above or below. And it's sort of all in this multi-step operation, arbitraging between our two liquidity pools. And the result, as I mentioned, is you get more of whatever token you started with, and you help the system to keep XSD at the peg. So reviewing all of the price stabilization techniques, because I don't know of another stablecoin protocol that has all of these. So buy below, sell above, mint above, redeem below, and then our unique way of expanding and innovating on the Terra Luna burn mint capability, where it actually arbitrages between our two pools, and then that moving collateral percentage inspired by Frax, and then we tie the minting interest rate to that to provide economic incentives to mint more in that example.